This was 6 episodes. We've gone through them all now, and what happened, guys? Chris, what happened in the first episode? Brief summary.
Right,
episode 1.
The team, the Scooby Gang, land on a planet made of glass, where the ocean is made of acid. They're walking around for a bit. We see these kind of submarines land. They go into this big building, and there's this old Anchor 10, something like that. And he's like, "Hey, I built this machine. It's mad. It's sick, but I'm missing all the keys. Can you go out and get them because we're under attack by the Vorg?"
Yeah, the machine is some kind of mind control thing, which was built to remove evil from the population. So mind control with a positive.
Yeah, it started off as like a judge and jury thing, and then they were like, "Hey guys, we can make this mad." So then this Ankin 10 is like, "Hey, you chaps, you've got to go out and find these keys, or 5 keys. I've got 1. You need to find the other 4. Go out and find them. You must find the keys for me. Off you go." And then they'll get these little watches, I guess, and they're kind of preset to each stop on the tour.
Teleport.
So they just go, and then it takes them to the next spot. And the end of the first episode is Barbara. She's like, "Oh, like this," and she swizzles it. And then they're all like, "Oh, let's follow Barbara." And they all swizzle it, and then they find Barbara's watch covered in blood, and it cuts to fade to black. As we see Anchor 10 being attacked by the Vorgorogs.
Vorgorogs.
Making up words now.
Yeah, I know, there's lots to remember. Rob, what happened in episode 2?
Oh, it seems like so long ago. They land in a palace, and these people are seemingly giving them everything that they want. But we find out that they're being controlled by brains in a jar with eyes on stalk, and they are mind-washing them to convince them that they are getting their every need, and it turns out that it's all brain control, and the conclusion is Barbara goes on a mad one and smashes the brains up with a jug.
Freeing everybody, because all of the other than Barbara, everyone's become controlled.
Yeah,
everyone's under the mind
Doctor,
control.
Susan, all under the mind control.
And Anchor 10's daughter is there as well, and she's like a slave.
FYI. And so Barbara smashes all the brains up, they all snap out of it, find a key, because Anchor 10's daughter has the first key, and then they get the key, swizzle the watch, off to the next one.
Where they're in some kind of place where the plant life is alive. If you've ever watched this, and if you do decide to watch it, each episode is a kind of self-contained, really.
Because the Doctor wasn't in this one as well, was he?
No, the Doctor wasn't in this one or the next one, because they'd gone their separate ways. In this one, the challenge is that the plant life is alive and is trying to kill them, basically. And they make their way to a scientist's lab, Ian and Barbara do, where this scientist guy has been doing some kind of experiments, possibly with the plant life. It's a bit ambiguous. And he was one of Anthony. Whatever name. Yeah, Ant. Let's call him Ant. That guy. One of his disciples that was sent off ages ago to find the keys and ended up just staying there. So what happens next? So these plants all attack. He captures them to start with because he doesn't trust that they came from this guy, and so he captures them and doesn't believe them. But then he gets attacked by plants, and then Barbara and Ian escape and try and help him. But I think he dies. He dies, and they have to find the chip, the key in his lab before the plants can get them, and then they do. So that's good. And then Swizz next episode.
They wake up covered in snow and ice, and they're on this kind of mountain with loads of wolves and stuff. And Ian and Barbara, because they get there after Anchor 10's daughter and Anchor 10's daughter's boy, they get there, and the girl as well, Susan. They get there afterwards, and this big chap in a beard, and he rescues them because they pass out because it's so cold. But then when they get into the big bearded chap's hut, it turns out he's a bit of a knob, and he's like, "Oh, I rescued you, so you have to pay me in watches or keychains or whatever." They have a bit of a fight. They then find that most of their mates are either frozen out in the cold or are in this cave, and basically this bloke with the beard is like, "Yeah, but I gave them food and stuff." And then Ian and Barbara are like, "Yeah, but you did charge them their nice watches, which we need." So then they go and find Anketen's daughter's wife, and he's passed out, and he's like, no, the guy tied me up, he tried to kill me, and that's when we find out he's actually a horrible bad guy. They escort him up to the caves to find the two girls, to find Susan and Anketen's daughter. And then in the cave, they're like, look, there's a chip over there! And they go across this rope bridge. When they're going across the rope bridge, bearded chap who's being escorted with them cuts it, and he's like, no, 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 no. So then they get there, they find that there's a key chip inside a block of ice, another block of ice, but doing that melts a bunch of guards. The guards start chasing them. Ian does some heroics with an icicle, which was really sick. He was like, no, no, no. So he does that. I'm fine, I really get into Ian. So he does all that, it's really sick. He fends off the guards, they get back. They go back to the lodge because they need their time turners. The bad guy, the bad sort of Viking guy's there, and he's like, well, you're stuck here now.
I like how you've given them the name Time Turners off, Harry Potter.
Yeah.
They don't even travel in time, it's only space.
Space spinners.
So they go there for the space spinners. The Viking is like, oh, blah, 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 blah. Then he gets stabbed by one of the ice guards, and then they're like, oh, he's dead. And then they're all space spins away with their next, with the key in hand. Just like that. I really like that episode, by the way. Can you tell? I love when Ian gets, the hero role, and he, grabs his icicle and he starts whacking these guards off. It's sick. I love watching Ian whack them off. Rob, what happened next?
Next, they go to a sophisticated planet with a court system, which is where the Doctor is, because he obviously magnetizes towards sophisticated. He doesn't have time for whacking off ice guards. He's too busy being a lawyer in this one. So Ian turns up.
Why is he a lawyer in this one?
Because Ian is accused of stealing the key.
Murdering
from a museum.
From a museum. So Ian turns up, sees the key in a museum. As he's looking at it, he gets hit over the head, and someone steals the key and frames him for stealing the key, which is why he is taken to court by this sophisticated peoples, and the Doctor is their lawyer. And then there's a whole load of back and forth over who did it, who didn't do it. And some people in the courts are accused of doing it, some members of the legal system, and then some of them die.
The legal system is guilty until proven innocent. The opposite of ours. So
and they don't do fingerprinting, they do psychometric testing by picking up objects and working out the emotions of the person who last held it.
Yeah.
It was great. I struggled to keep up, to be honest. A few people from the legal system died, and they were still convinced that Ian did it somehow. And
the mystery continued in the last episode as well. The kind of court mystery and
that did drag
continued into the last episode when it was all revealed that it was the prosecutor who did it. It was the guy that was prosecuting Ian all the time. It was all his idea.
Twist.
So then they get the last key, which was in the mace that did the murder the whole time. And then they head on back to old Ant in his little glass island surrounded by acid sea. Unfortunately, he's dead. The Vord have killed him. Ant is dead. And the Vord have taken over, and they've captured Ant's daughter and her boyfriend, and are trying to find out the location and stolen all the other keys that they'd already collected off them, and is trying to find out the location of the last key, which is currently with the Doctor. And when they give up this information, they then trick the Doctor's companions into thinking that they are Ant, because they dress in his robe and hide, and say, "Don't come near me. I've got ill or something.
I've got a cold.
I've got a sneeze. Might sneeze on you." But Ian doesn't believe them. He's suspicious.
Because he's my hero.
Yeah, he's the hero. He knows what he's talking about. Unlike the Doctor, who is, quite gullible in this whole serial, I think. And then, so he vents his suspicion, and he gives them a fake key. He gives them a fake key, which came up earlier in the story.
Somewhere along the line.
Yeah, well, which we might have missed out because there's a lot of story in this. And they put the fake key in, and that causes the machine to explode, therefore saving the day and killing all the Vord, presumably. And then the TARDIS crew go, right, got that stuff, bye-bye. Yeah, so that was basically what happened. God, that took a long time.
Very simple and straightforward.
We meant to cut that.
I think so.
I think we probably just confused all of our viewers.
Just get the key points in, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
People are clever.
Anyway,